To see when it says live like that. Oh yeah, I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I want to put the arm pads on.
That's it. With the spikes and the face
The
mask.
spikes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Just Too Sweet Show, episode number 31, I believe. Yes, awesome, 31. My name, Big Daddy Cool, Tim Tabala. My tag team partner down below, AZ, the bad guy, Eric Zant. And the special guest star today, the boss man himself.
Yo, what's up, people?
Gentlemen, what's going on? How's everything? How was your week and a half since the last time we were on? What's going on? Whoever wants to jump in first, be my guest.
AZ, it's your show. You go.
Okay. Hey, nothing. Everything's pretty copacetic here. We had the nice increase in temperature from the cool weather we had there for a while. It's been in the high 70s. Had a couple low 80s days, so I got to walk around in my signature tank top. So that was fun, in the fall. But it's
For you, it's tank top from May till September, and then it's leather jacket the rest of the year.
And my boots.
He's wearing sleeves again.
Wearing sleeves right now.
This is.
Listen, I just did laundry, so I have a fresh batch.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
Fresh batch of sleeves. Boss man, what's going on with you? You had a big move. How's everything else going?
Yeah.
Big move. All is good. I wish I could say the temperatures are around the same as you, AZ. But today it was 91, felt like 104.
Oh, Christ.
It's just hot, sticky, muggy. That's just, so they say the price of living in paradise.
I guess
that
so.
and hurricanes.
Isn't it supposed to get cool? Is it supposed to get cool right around this time?
So what happens is there was a cool front that came through, and a buddy of mine texted me saying, "Oh, there's a cool front coming," and I was like, "Oh." I usually am up on how the weather's going to be, so I look at the weather, and the next day, 87. I said, "This is the cold front. This is what you're talking about." Now we usually get our first nice batch of air like middle to late October, so we still got some ways to go. It's going to be that tropical stuff for the next week or so, with just 70% chance of rain, muggy, hot. Just
every day, 3:00 rain, torrential downpour. 3:05 sunny and hot. Yeah, I know Florida.
Exactly. Exactly.
And here we had our nice cool 60-degree days, and then back up to the 80. So it's like, you're killing me.
Did you get rain today, Tim, or no?
Yeah, we got rain today.
So did we.
Not much. Not bad. And it's that hot rain, too. Not even the good, cool rain.
Ours was like the medium rain. It was kind of like, you were like, okay, it's kind of warm, but this, we better not stay out in this rain because we'll catch pneumonia,
Or in 2020, COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of COVID, did you know that up here we have the highest increase of positive cases in Broome County in the New York State?
And Broome County does.
Broome County.
You're number one.
Broome County, Steuben and Chemung are number 2 and 3 because they how they track it, like the health department tracks it and stuff. Well, they don't release names, but
right.
They know that the root of the recent spike came from a wedding in Steuben County, a wedding in Chemung County, a nursing home in Steuben County, and one of the Binghamton college kid pubs in Broome County. So, ultimately, it all branched from that. And I mean, there's like 3 or 4 positive cases right here in Deposit. I mean, we didn't even have that many, during the scourge. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting now because my daughter went to school today for the first day. My son hasn't gone to school yet. He's still doing remote. And we are just under 2% in New York. and 3% means the school's closed down again. So he'll be going. He'll go to his first day of school probably next week, and then shut down the following day. I'm just waiting for
my
it.
sister, they're doing this part doesn't make any sense to me. I feel if they're gonna do school, it's either all homeschool or all in school. I don't get the alternating because then you're exposed anyway. Yeah, you're into it. So in Jersey, my sister was telling me that my nephew 2 days a week in school, and those are half days, and the other 3 days at home, but you're still in school. You're still doing what you might do to get sick.
Yeah. You still got classes, you still got bus rides, you still got all that crap.
Steve, my kids do the same thing. Nick goes Monday and Wednesday, rides the bus. They get out at like 1:15. Elijah, because he goes in special needs, he goes 4 days a week. So it's like, but they're isolated. They isolate them from the rest of the school, I guess.
No.
So whatever.
I don't know. That piece of it just didn't make any sense to me. Either it's all
none of it does.
Exposure, yeah. And then you see, I know we're going to talk wrestling, but the Titans got hit today.
Yeah.
Three.
Right now, now it's 8.
It's 7 or 8.
It's
5.
It's 3 players, 5 staff members.
That's ridiculous. It was too good to be true, I guess, for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
I guess if there's a silver lining, a lot of people are getting over it, and the death rate is down.
Right.
Not to downplay it, but it seems to me that healthcare and self-care is there, is doing well.
Well, my only bright spot would be if they cancel the season, the Giants we don't have to watch the Giants for the rest of the year.
We were just in the Mets group chat. Producer Joe said, the Giants and Jets are ranked 31st and 32nd in the league. Might as well just cancel the season.
Cancel out. I'm good with that now. I'm good with them canceling. I'm good.
Philadelphia is not much better. Philadelphia is not much better.
All right. Let's
God, they tied with the Bengals.
I'm gonna say one last thing about football, and then I'm done. Is the friggin' Eagles should have kept Nick Foles and got rid of Carson Wentz. Should have kept Foles, got rid of Carson. They'd have been doing phenomenal right now.
I saw a TikTok where a guy made a TikTok packing his bag. His wife goes, "Where you going?" He goes, "I'm going to Chicago to get our quarterback back." He's like making a joke. He's driving.
Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened in that Bears game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the highlights of that?
Yeah.
What the? It's same like Super Bowl all over again. This guy was electric.
Dude, the Giants made Nathan Peterman look like Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Nathan Peterman. 300, almost 400 yards of passing. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable.
How did that happen?
He wasn't.
Sorry,
how bad he sucked as a Bill? He just beat the Giants.
Trubisky looked like an all-star against the Giants, and then he got benched against the Eagles.
Following week. That's how good we are. All right, let's stop that. Let's save that depressing stuff for the other show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the big news over the past couple of weeks, as we see at the bottom of the screen, Animal, Mr. Joseph Laurinaitis himself, passed away at the age of 60. Everyone knows him from the Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors, however you want to call them. I prefer calling them Road Warriors because I did not like the Legion of Doom. I thought they were a little watered down when they went to the WWF, but the Road Warriors were awesome. So, Animal, Hawk, reunited. Eric, give a little talk about Animal. What do you think?
Oh man, Legion Road Warriors. Well, Legion of Doom actually started out in I think Mid-South, and Jake Roberts and Paul Ellering, the Road Warriors, and there was one more that was part of that. That was actually the original Legion of Doom. There's a bunch of them, but they kept that name. Obviously, they referred to them as the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, but they were always the Road Warriors and Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal. I remember watching them as a child, and they were probably one of the first things that really you're a 7-year-old kid, and you see these two monsters come out into this ring, and they're wearing paint and spikes and they got these like beards. Like, remember when nobody had like mustaches or like weird haircuts? And I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, yeah, and I'm looking at these guys, and I'm like, oh man, this is what I want. I want to be just like that. So, I would paint my face and all this stuff, and I remember my dad going, "Oh, what the hell's wrong with us? Goddamn!" I mean, he was from the 30s. He didn't get it, but I mean, they had that kind of like that it thing. Like when they walked out, they were just huge, and their personalities came out. Like Hawk was just like, and Animal was like shouting.
Well,
yeah, Animal was like when you're yelling at your kid when you're sitting on the toilet. You know what I mean? That's how he sounded. And and it's like when you're constipated. So
I always love tell him Hawk. Tell him Hawk. I waited for that. I waited for that part, and all right, I'm good.
Oh, but some of Hawk's soliloquies were great.
Oof.
Like he would go off on like a painkiller infused tangent. Like it was so cool.
I thought Ultimate Warrior was bad. He had some good ones.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, at least we can blame his on like pills and LSD. But like the Warrior just what the hell But yeah, no, the Legion of the Road Warriors were like they were the tag team. Like I don't hate saying it, but every tag team that subsequently came after them as long as I've been a wrestling fan, you see a new tag. Like we have a new tag team, the Beverly Brothers. It's like immediately, like when they say tag team, no matter if it's them, like the Beverly Brothers, the Orient Express, whoever, it's like the first thing you think of is like, all right, where do they stack against the Road Warriors? Are they like way low here or like here? Like, because the Road Warriors are always here. It's like, where do they rate against the Road? If they can go with the Legion of Doom, they're pretty good. If they can't, if they just tear them up, you know what I mean? Like beat the shit out of them, like, like enhancement talent. And it's like, why even waste your time, Like, because guys like the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express and Arn and Tully and even Demolition, they could go, And, Legion of Doom were kind of like the measuring stick of, they were press slamming guys that were 300 pounds. I mean, come on.
As all those teams you mentioned, except for Demolition, are all tiny. If you think compared to the Road Warriors, think about it.
But remember when they had the feud with the Powers of Pain in the NWA, the bench press and all that stuff? Like they were press slamming each other, and it's like it was like these giant 350-pound hunks of meat just like slamming into one another. It was so cool. Like when you're a kid, when you're a 13-year-old kid and your testosterone in a year goes from here to here. It's like you're just buzzing around. You start clotheslining your mom, and you like throw your cat out the window. And, it's so awesome. But that's what that's what the Road Warriors did for me, man.
I know the first time you put on football pads, that's the first thing you think of in the mirror. You look in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
I know what Hawk, baby.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what about you? You had I don't know. Were you an NWA guy? Were you that far back, or were you just know them as a Legion of Doom in the WWF?
I wasn't an NWA guy, but I've watched it since. So I know the Road Warriors and Legion of Doom. I've seen them as both, and just like Tim, like you said, Road Warriors were it. But like what Eric was saying, every new tag team, whether it be high flying guys like the Rockers or the Hart Foundation, you're measuring all these guys up against that tag team. Demolition, Haku and the Barbarian, any tag team that came together was ultimately put up against this tag team, and that's back in the day when tag team wrestling was just phenomenal. All tag team today, I don't know how it's evolved now, but tag team kind of disappeared. But back in those days, and then it evolved into like the Nasty Boys and Knobs and Sags rubbing each other, rubbing heads into their armpits.
And the Steiner brothers too, like
Steiners.
You had like the sport guys,
right.
The Nasty Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like the trailer park guys. The Nasty Boys were, and the Legion of Doom were like the street guys. Like you could literally like see them walking down the street. And like gangs or anybody wouldn't mess with them. Be like, whoa, all right, no, here you go.
That's because it wasn't a gimmick for them.
No,
They were that badass in real life.
they were.
And they said that Hawk would he'd love to start bar fights and get into those.
Oh, he was nuts.
all the time.
Crazy.
He was a lunatic.
And
Yeah.
he usually won too.
Yeah, I would say so. And again, the legendary stripper stories you hear from Dark Side of the Ring are when they put the Vince McMahon into the was a Doomsday device.
Doomsday device.
He took it in the strip club, right? The Scores or something.
That's
Imagine
probably the
that.
greatest story I've ever heard in my life. Might be the greatest story I've ever heard in my life.
That is.
Imagine being just just an onlooker. You're there just for the girls, and then you turn around and you got Vince McMahon up on their shoulders.
But how does that? How does that story never leak? Like, how does that story never get out? How do we never not hear Vince McMahon taking a Doomsday device in a strip club? How did we never?
It would have been on video. We would have seen it on cell phone video.
Oh, that's
in these days.
Nowadays.
We would have seen it.
You tell me there was one person in that strip club who wasn't a fan of wrestling, who didn't know what that was, and say, "Hey, I saw Vince McMahon get a Doomsday device from Legion Do in the middle of a strip club." Come on, that story had to get spread around at least a little bit. I was shocked.
I think it probably did, but I think it was so fantastic that if you were to tell, say you were just like a mid card guy, you were there. And you went from say you went back down to WCW or you went over to USWA, and you tell Tommy Rich or somebody hey man, when I was up north, I saw Vince McMahon get the Doomsday device in a strip club, and they're probably yeah, okay, yeah.
Imagine me telling you that the next day. Oh yeah, dude, I was wasted last night, but Vince McMahon took a Doomsday device in the strip club. You had too much to drink.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe him. I wouldn't believe him. I do now. Animal said that, but
yeah. See, unfortunately for me, my last interaction with Apple was not a good one. Well, it wasn't that it was a good one, but we were at the Philadelphia Comic-Con, and me and my son, and he came over to the Nasty Boys booth, and he was talking to them, and Jax was immediately drawn to him because he had the makeup. He was still Jack. He had the mohawk. He was all good to go, and Jax was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "That's Road Warrior Animal." I was like, "Go ask him to take a picture," because he wasn't. So Jax went over, said something, and he goes, "Oh, you got to come to my booth. You got to come to me. I can't do it here." And I got annoyed. Because I understand you want to make the money. I get it. But you're going to turn down a 9-year-old kid, 8-year-old, 9 kid. I don't know, whatever he was at the time. 8-year-old kid. Come on. Don't be a douche. Take a freaking picture while we're standing there.
That is shitty. That is shitty.
Yeah, so that was my last interaction with him, and I kind of got annoyed. And then when we walked past his booth, he was looking at us like, "Oh, here they come. They're going to stop." We walked right past him. We went to Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
So walk by them like this.
Yeah, I walked right by him. I did Jim Duggan's booth. We were talking to Jim Duggan for a while, and
nice.
Jake the Snake. Cool. So that's the bad part. I mean, I feel bad now. So whatever.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Whenever an athlete passes away, you feel bad and stuff, but they still did what they did.
Yeah,
yeah.
In the moment, he was still an asshole.
Yeah, he was a douche. Come on,
not me. I mean, I don't care about me, but you can turn down an 8-year-old.
No, of course, no, not for us. I mean, we're grown men, but
I would expect him to tell me to go get stuffed, but you got an 8-year-old. I don't care who if I'm Shawn Michaels, if I'm Triple H, if an 8-year-old kid comes up to me and says, "Hey, right, man, can I have you sign his shit, man?" and you hang out with him,
Yeah, I take a picture. He said, "Oh, you got to come down to my booth," and I was like, "Really, dude? You're gonna turn him down right here in front of all these people?"
Well,
that's an easy thing to do, right?
Animal, you get a dick for that. You get a dick for that, but we R.I.P.
Yeah.
And let's not forget he produced one of my favorite football players of all time,
James Laurinaitis.
Yep, of the Rams. I thought that dude was awesome. I loved watching that guy play. He was really, really good.
He was hell on defense, wasn't he, man? Or was he offense?
Yeah, for sure.
Defense, middle
linebacker, right?
And he was mean.
Why did he stop playing?
Just got old.
Oh, he played 10 years and then.
I think so. 6-7 years, maybe.
Yeah, linebacker is 6-7 years. That's pretty good.
That's a long time for a linebacker. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he played that long. So, but yeah. Anyway, Rip Animal, you were a douche last time I saw you, but still, only 60 years old is not enough time. So,
no. Can I make one more comment about?
Go for it, man.
Douche DiBiase, as I like to call him, phony bastard. I don't have beefcake heat with him, but it's pretty close because Ted DiBiase is a dick. Okay, he's a
Steve, let me tell you where this is coming from.
Yeah, please.
That wrestling store by me has a ton of guys coming, a ton. So I wrote to Eric today. I wrote, "Yo, DiBiase's coming, and IRS, the $1 Million Inc. $1 Million Inc. Money Inc. coming." I'll get a picture.
Tell him verbatim what happened.
And he just went into this whole DiBiase. He's a douche, and he's a $1 million dick, and and I'm like, well, was he old Jesus out? Like, oh, he's like, oh, he's been a douche since then. And I was like, why you gotta ruin it for me, dude? Why you gotta ruin it?
I thought about that after I was doing it. I was like, shit, this is gonna sour Tim.
Because I said Bischoff is only $20 to take a picture with him. I'd pay that in a heartbeat.
I'm in
for sure.
I'd like
I'm
to go
100% in.
And then who are the other guys that I really want to see? It's the Good Brothers. That's
Pose them like this.
Yeah, exactly. Callis Anderson could be there, and then Money Inc. And I was like, oh, Money Inc. I really want to get a picture with them. And then Eric comes out with his $1 million douche speech, and I was like, come on, dude, you're ruining it, man. But again, why is he a douche? You didn't get to tell me the whole story.
Ted DiBiase is a phony prick, and I'll tell you why. And Ted DiBiase, I hope you see this because you know you're a phony prick, and you know you're a douchebag. So back in my younger and not so, stable days, okay, everybody knows Ted DiBiase, oh brother, where art thou? I've seen the light, and whatever. If that makes him sleep at night, go right ahead, dude. Do what you got to do. But my sister has this friend named Dave Ford who had something to do with the church in Afton. And DiBiase was going there to speak. So he gets in there and he starts slamming wrestling and going about like how blasphemous this is and blasphemous that is and the world is wrecked because Jesus isn't around. And I'm going like, wow, man. I was like, what did I get myself into here? So I thought, all right, you know what? It's Ted DiBiase. I'm going to hang out to the end and talk to him because I was wrestling then. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting forever. And, you got your hayseed, 8 chromosome people walking up there with their bag of bread and their cane. And, oh, it's so lovely to see you, Mr. DiBiase. He's like, oh, Jesus, and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, you know what? I don't want any Kool-Aid. And I don't want to do this shit. Take your take your 3-eyed grandma and your cybernetic grandfather and get out of here. So I'm waiting. And Dave Ford is the nicest guy in the entire world. This guy Dave Ford, he's so nice that you'd throw up. He's so nice. Like if you're just walking down the street and you kick a stone, he would grab that stone and throw it so you didn't kick it again. That's what the kind of guy he is. He's like, Eric, just wait and, talk to him and this and that. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, he's like, tell him your problems, tell him your troubles. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't have any troubles. I mean, a girlfriend had just broken up with me, but, whatever. I already had another one. So I wait. And here comes Ted DiBiase. Like after the last, redneck left or whatever. And he's a big dude, man. He's taller than me. He's probably an inch taller than me, and he's big, And I'm like, wow. I'm like,
by now.
Yeah, he's probably yeah. But I still would have kicked his ass. I wasn't worried about that. But and I will kick your ass, DiBiase. I don't give a shit, you phony bastard.
The challenge has been laid down right here on the Just Too Sweet show.
You know where he is? I know exactly where he's going to be next month.
Good. Tell Beefcake to get in there. I'll kick his ass too. So,
handicap match. Next edition of the Just Too Sweet show.
That's what it would be too. All I do is bring a magnet and I'd hit Beefcake in the face and.
Man.
I don't know. Hey, well, anyway, the $1 million douche. He's like, Eric, I think Jesus put you in my path. I went, You're the $1 million man. Who are you? He's like, I'm starting up a Christian wrestling federation, and I want you to be part of it. I went, all right. I was like, well, I got to go.
When was this?
This is like year 2000. It's 20 years ago.
So, but it was back in the day of scantily clad women and right?
Yeah,
in WWE.
no,
okay.
Yeah.
This is Sable.
Whoever this
Okay.
is, click the link.
Click the link.
Click the link and StreamYard so we know who you are.
Click the link. And like I said, listen, I want people to be clear. I do not judge you like what you like. You believe in what you believe in. I'm not here to tell you that anything is real, isn't real, nothing. I respect and admire people's faith. Just because I have my personal beliefs doesn't mean that I don't admire yours, and I actually think a lot of it's fascinating. But when you try shoving it up my ass, that's where I don't like it. And when you don't,
That's everybody.
yeah, but he was greasing it, and he had a propeller. He was trying to really he was pouring cups and cups of Kool-Aid. And he gave me his book, and I think he gave me his phone number. And because he said he was talking to Chris Jericho and all this other stuff, and I'm like going, all right, now I don't believe this guy. So anyway, I went and consulted another wrestler, another bigger name that I knew, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. And I'm like, dude, I was like freaked out over Ted DiBiase because I understand he's at a church and he's preaching whatever, but I'm one of the boys. I wanted to meet and talk to him about, and all he wanted to do was turn me into he wanted to convert. He wanted me to see the light, and I believe me, I did, man. From that day on, he's the million, and he was like, he's telling me shit like, I'll tell you why he's the $1 million. He's like, well, the way that you really probably should think about giving up wrestling because, just nowadays it's just that and the other thing. And this, I said, wait a minute. I said, you had the time of your life. I said, it's easy for you to say like, give it up now and because of whatever. I said, what about me? I'm 21, 22 years old. So I consulted somebody and, they're like, oh man, he goes, why'd you even waste your time? That guy's a douche. Like he used to be a great guy. He's using the Christianity to market for whatever. And just like all the other, not all, a lot of people who take advantage of certain aspects in society and religion. So DiBiase, I am public. I had to backtrack because I don't want to. I'm an open-minded guy. I really am, and just because I don't practice certain things doesn't mean that I don't believe that you shouldn't be able to. You should, but if you're Ted DiBiase and you're a phony prick, and you're nothing but a money-grubbing asshole who's going around to churches who you already know are gonna dish out $1,000, $2,000 just to get you there, you asshole. So you take advantage of all these small places, and then you say, "Well, Jesus is gonna thank you," and all this other stuff. No, dude, you're a phony prick, okay? And I know for a fact that you fell off the Christian rail for a while, and then jumped back on it when it's convenient, because no one have any freaking friends, and you didn't know what to do. Just like Cornette said about Shawn Michaels, same thing. So Ted, you can go stick it up a rope. I wouldn't let somebody loan me $20,000 to talk to you, you old prick. So
That's a lot. That's a big loan, though.
suck it.
So that means you're not coming with me?
Oh hell yeah, I'm coming with you. Hell yeah, I'm coming with you. Hell yeah, I'm coming with you.
It's IRS, baby. We gotta go see IRS.
Mike Rotunda
Shyster.
is one of my favorites, dude.
Erwin R. Shyster.
Erwin R. Shyster. And dude, we got to see Bischoff. Bischoff is a must.
You know what sucks is that these guys never come down here.
Well, this is it's a cool little store over here. It's called the Wrestling Universe. I'll give them a free plug. I don't care. It's a Wrestling Universe. It's in Francis Lewis Boulevard over there. It's a tiny little. You wouldn't think they'd have the people that they get, but if you look at, I'm always posting it. Tons of people going in and out of the store.
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah.
Demolition's coming back.
They had two stores, right? We were in the one checking the autographs out and all the memorabilia.
Yeah, they have two stores right on the corner of each other. They do the merchandise. The one that you go to the other store to buy to meet them. There's more stuff there. I mean, it's nice, but $20.
$20 for Eric Bischoff. That's like 100. I would have paid $50 for that.
$30 if you want an autograph too.
I wonder how much we got to pay him to come on the show.
Bischoff.
I'll ask him. You know what? I'm gonna start making just too sweet cards and just start going. Here you go. Take that. Throw it out if you want, but just read it real quick.
Yeah.
Why would they not want to be on this show and listen to me go off on a wrestler? They share the same opinion as I do. And
maybe yeah, that was a long time ago, dude. Maybe he's back to normal.
No, because I was going to set. You know what set me off about the $1 million dick face is he made a tweet saying R.I.P. Animal, brother in Christ. Who gives a shit if he's a brother in Christ? He died. He's got a family. Okay? Take your Christ shit and save it for when you don't have to promote it and do all that other shit. The guy passed away. The guy's got a family. They're in mourning. I don't give a shit if they're Christian believers or not. You know, it's called couth and it's called respect. Okay? So keep that shit out of it.
Look at AZ with the great rant.
Angry.
Yeah, and
I'm
sure the church paid him for his appearance, but they don't pay their taxes. No, go ahead.
Damn right they don't.
All right. We're getting close to religion.
In God we trust. All others.
Oh my God, Bunker's here. Get him out of here.
I saw that today. I saw it today.
Bunker, if you want to come on, let me know. I'll send you the link. even come on if you want. But so we got to get dangerously close to doing religion talk. So let's move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. Like I said,
you know me. I'm gonna put a sign right next to my Star Wars sign. It says no politics, no religion.
And I tried to keep it fair and balanced. Like I said, I have no problem.
I get it.
I have no problem with anything anybody wants to believe, but just pay your respect. I mean, be just a decent person, okay? You know, you don't have to have an agenda on everything you do. Be a decent person. Look, man, the guy accomplished all this shit in wrestling. Okay, how about that? How about the fact that his son, through his model of hard work, accomplished that? His daughter's a power lifter. You know, his brother was a VP in wrestling. I mean, this guy branched out and inspired a lot of people. All right, so why not focus on that? What a great guy he was. He did goof.
I forgot about John Laurinaitis.
He did goof off commercials. You remember those?
Yeah.
Good.
Goof off. But yeah, I was going to ask you that, Tim. Have you seen anything?
Don't put me in the same bucket as you, Bunker.
Love that guy. Boy, what's he greasing your palm for there?
I don't know. I think you might find some white powder or so.
Ooh, I think Bunker wants.
Tim, did you see any John Laurinaitis stuff regarding Animal?
No, I didn't. I didn't see anything pop. I don't think John Laurinaitis is a tweeter, he doesn't seem like a social media guy. So I don't think so.
That's his brother.
Let's move on to something more fun, more exciting.
Yeah, let's get away from the $1 million F head.
Wait, so we're still going to talk about the $1 million douche right here?
Yes, we are. It's going to come up
because somebody did his homework. I rewatched last night.
I see. You gotta do your homework. I did my homework today during lunch. But yeah, exactly. So Survivor Series 1990. Eric, you're the one who wanted to watch this, and I'm to talk about it. I'm so glad you did because, like I was telling you before, I discovered quite a few things that I didn't notice the first time I watched it, which we will talk about.
Oh yeah, dude. I have a feeling I know a couple of them, but
I guess we'll go through match by match. You know, but first of all, I want to say what had me real excited was Roddy Piper on it announcing.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper was fantastic. I mean, you know he's famous for the one call he made because of a certain superstar's debut.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was a stupid gobbledygooker, which I guess we'll have to talk about too, unfortunately.
But
when you watch the entire pay-per-view, that guy was jacked up. He was excited. He was like a cheerleader for all the, you know, and I usually don't like when they have two face announcers. I like to have a heel announcer in there too. But he was outstanding. He kept me like I was excited for the next match. Like, let's go.
He kept, even though he, you know, face announcer, you know, he kept it real. He said, you know, during the Hogan match, he was like, I don't like any of those people in that ring, but I respect him. He also did the SummerSlam that year too. With, was it Vince? When Hogan came back to fight Earthquake.
Yeah.
And he talked about, he slimmed down. That might have been a mistake. He kept on telling him not to go for the body slam. He continued that in Survivor Series, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was the number one thing I really noticed. I loved Piper, and he kept me
great.
invested, man. He kept me going, and him and Gorilla were actually a really good team together for that one.
Now, do you know why Piper was there?
No.
Piper came because Ventura left, and they needed. Vince felt a star caliber name, who, in my opinion, Piper's name carries more weight than Ventura's. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And
we'll do a Ventura show one day, but that's a whole other subject too.
We'll have to. But Piper, I think, filled the shoes perfectly because, like Steve was saying, he was, he's kind of he's a face announcer, but he's still Piper. Like he's not going to pull a punch and be like, well, because even if you hear his commentary like on Superstars, it'd be like, well, I never, I'd rather punch that guy too, but whatever, it's like he'll throw little comments in like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that part of that during the rewatch. The other, well, you know what? We'll go through it one at a time. Well, we had a dark match too that I didn't even get to watch. I didn't even see it on the network if it was on there.
Did you ever know this existed?
Big Mouth Shane Douglas.
Yeah.
Versus Buddy Rose.
Playboy Buddy Rose.
Buddy Rose had to be like 70 years old, no? During this time, 1990.
Probably in his 40s. Probably
Really?
Late 30s, early 40s.
Really, I thought he'd be a lot older than that.
No.
You know what else I picked up on real quick is that when they were advertising for the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-views were on Saturdays then. It was a Saturday night Royal Rumble, January 19th, and I remember Gorilla Monsoon saying, "What a way to start off 1991." And I'm thinking, man, we're about to be in 2021. Wow. And I remember this is. I think I told this story last time, but this is the pay-per-view that I was going around. It was on Thanksgiving, and I was going around sulking until my parents ordered it. This was the pay-per-view.
This is the one.
This is it.
I'm officially naming this pay-per-view for people our age. This is me and Eric. He's just a little bit younger than Steve, but as like the nexus of our youth. And I'll explain why when we get into it. All right, so the first match, we had the 8-man tag match. The Perfect Team. Mr. Perfect was the captain with Axe, Smash, and Crush, with Bobby Heenan and Mr. Fuji at ringside, let's not forget.
Mm-hmm.
And they took on, oh my God, this is the most depressing lineup ever when you look at it now.
Look at it now.
Sure.
The Ultimate Warriors, Animal, Hawk, the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, and the Ultimate Warrior. Rest in peace, all four of you guys.
Otherwise known as the Dead Team. Yeah.
Not to mention on the other team, 2 more. So 6 out of the 8 are dead right now. That's how depressing that is.
Fuji, and then if you count the managers, Fuji and Heenan.
If I didn't count the managers, but okay, now you make it more depressing.
Piper and Gorilla Monsoon. Jeez.
Just everybody.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
You're the Grim Reaper all of a sudden.
I think the gobbledygooker's even dead too. The guy
He might be dead.
Good for that guy.
So
that was the first match. I thought it was a very good opening match.
Yeah.
And this really proved what Mr. Perfect was outstanding, which he really was. I don't like the fact that and you know what, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to now this time, Eric, and you're gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna give credit to Crush. I never gave Crush credit before.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I was never a fan, but I am gonna give Crush a lot of credit. I dug him in this one. And I did dig stuff I've been watching. I like Crush. I do.
Crush was great. Crush was one of my all-time faves. Still is.
So who won that one? Oh yeah, Mr. No, not Mr. Perfect. Ultimate Warrior.
It was a Warrior.
The Warrior pinned Parker.
He was the sole survivor out of that one.
Kicked out of the Perfect.
It was such a like. I didn't mind how the tone of the match went. I was depressed because Kerry got beat second. Like he got eliminated second, I think, because Hawk and Animal got eliminated first. No, Axe got
Axe eliminated first,
and then Kerry.
Yeah.
And then the double DQ with Crush and Smash and the Road Warriors.
And the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
And then Warrior beat the living piss out of Perfect, but Perfect put him over so good.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
He did.
Too good. Too good.
You would think if you only watched one Ultimate Warrior match and it was that, you would be like, well, what are you saying that about the Warrior for? He's a good worker. Look at what he did with Mr. Perfect. I'd be like, yeah, he had him by the hand. You know, I could literally see Perfect like saying, no, this, and like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you notice on a couple of those bumps, not trying to mark out here, okay? Kayfabe. I mean, Perfect preemptive bumped a couple times for the Warrior, whether he didn't want to get potatoed or whether he was trying to coax him to be like, this way, over here. You know, it's like, because Hennig knew every single spot on that ring and what to do. So
he's amazing. I mean, this match was a prime example.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect knew his way. He could wrestle in that ring, I feel, with his eyes closed and know exactly where to be, what spots to get to, and whatnot.
1,000,000%.
The Ultimate Warrior was probably the worst worker in that ring out of the guys in that ring.
I've got to tell you, the two best workers were probably Von Erich and Hennig.
And here comes observation number one that I told you about, Eric. Observation number one.
Observation number one.
I hope it's not going to ruin it for me or you or anybody else. Now that you know that Kerry Von Erich didn't have a foot, you see it. And this match, you see it.
Oh, you see him limp a little, yeah.
He limps coming down the ring, and I'm going, son of a bitch, that show ruined this for me. Because now I know he has no foot.
Yeah.
And even during the ring, even during the match, you're like, oh my God, the guy don't have a foot. But still, great worker. He had a great match. I thought he was really good. I think he got the I would put it, the shin and the stick and a lot of stuff going on with him. But you really notice now he doesn't have that foot.
He did. And can you think about, I mean, you guys have never been in a ring, but I used to think about not having a foot and trying to do what Kerry did. And I'm just telling you how much pain you're in when you're in that ring and how sore your joints are, how much impact, like just even your ankles take. Like, I can't imagine how bad that, like, the end of his foot hurt after a match. I mean, I understand why he probably popped pills like Pez, because that pain had to be outstanding. I don't even know how he did it.
Did they say, again, I know we bring this up all the time too, what did he do? Did he just have a stump in a boot? He could have. He had to have something attached, no?
What did Pat Tanaka say? Did you see that?
I don't remember that part.
Pat Tanaka was actually there when the one time his boot came off. I think it was in USWA or World Class. His boot came off, and they got it back on quick, but like a few people in the crowd and the wrestlers all saw it. But I think Fritz went around and like made the boys like be like, you didn't see anything and blah, 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 and this and that. And so it was known, but that's back when it was regional and territorial. So, and nothing for nothing, but
containable then.
Yeah, it was containable. And, you know, you can't believe everything all the boys say. So, and of course, Kerry worked his ass off and wrestled, you know, so the only way you would really know is you see how thick that one boot is. And the other boot looks normal.
Yep.
So, you know, there you go. But to answer your question, Tim, I'm pretty sure it's the nub, or at least like hacked off like right here, you know. So it's kind of like something like this.
So you have to have something attached.
Yeah, the thing that I'm reading, I just pulled up. It says that he climbed back in the ring with his prosthetic foot.
Okay, so he had something at least on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had something to slide in.
Oh my God! Can you? He faced. I don't know who he was facing, but it says his opponent unknowingly pulled Kerry by his right foot and it just popped off. Can you imagine? Could you just imagine
being a kid at ringside too?
Holy crap! Wow!
And then he's on TV the next week.
Yeah.
Wrestling is magic. I started thinking he lost his foot last week, and this week he's fighting.
Wow.
And probably there's like a young guy who's going to become a WWE writer and go, he just got done trick or treating. He's got those eyeballs and goes, what if one day An eyeball pops out of someone wearing a mask.
Oh my god. Well, and then what was it? Vachon. Was it Diesel that
Mad
popped
Dog Vachon, yeah.
Mad Dog Vachon's leg off?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then who was that little that tiny kid? Was it Lesnar that pulled his prosthetic off? I feel like there's a history of prosthetics happening in WWE now. Remember that little scrawny kid? I can't
Zach
remember his name.
MacGyver or something? Is that his name?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about. I forget his name though.
You had me with Zach, but MacGyver threw me off. But yeah, it's like Vince loves prosthetics.
Look at that guy. He didn't have a leg.
Imagine that production meeting. Wouldn't it be great if you just ripped off his leg and beat him with it? Sure, yeah, let's do it.
And you got Cornette going, damn, what the hell's wrong with you guys?
It should be armbar, pin.
Drop. Duck down, duck a clothesline. Mother.
He's a little too old school for me, Cornette, but he's still great.
Cornette, yeah, he's South wrestling, but you know. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. And so the next one is the other point that I had to make. We had the Dream Team, Dusty Rhodes as captain, with the Hart Foundation and Coco Beware with Frankie. Well, no, Frankie didn't make the ring. Against the $1 Million Team, which Ted DiBiase was the captain. You had Rhythm and Blues, Hockey Talk Man, and Greg Valentine, which was just a terrible, terrible gimmick for Greg Valentine. He couldn't pull that off. And then
He's the hammer.
You had the debut of the legendary, the one and only Undertaker come out in that match. And I like how you said it too. He was stiff, but it worked. He was stiff and it worked perfectly. Yeah. And it was fantastic. And he's a pretty scary dude. I like how they cut to the crowd and the people's mouths are on the jaw. And so that was the birth of the Undertaker.
Amazing.
Yeah. So what'd you guys think about this one? What'd you on your rewatch? What did you enjoy about it? What did you not like about it? Whoever wants to go first.
I honestly felt 13 years old again, because like I'm sitting there, I know it's coming, and DiBiase grabs the mic. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the biggest dickhead in the world, but I want to introduce to you." No, when he did the whole thing, because DiBiase is such a dick. When he did the whole thing, the asshole.
Let it go, man.
Yeah, I gotta let it go.
But back then it was pretty damn good. You know, the whole Death Valley thing.
Oh no,
from Death Valley.
That was great. He's like from
Brother
what
Love.
He said from Death Valley, and then the Brother Love thing, and you're like, what? Then you hear like this funeral parlor music, and you're like, what's going on? Out comes Mean Mark Callis, who I watched as Mean Mark in the NWA, but he wasn't Mean Mark anymore. He was the Undertaker.
With the greatest mullet probably ever in the history of wrestling.
But he was gigantic. I mean, he had to be 330 pounds back then. He was just, and he's like walking to the ring. And I'm like, this guy is scary. But I'm in love with this character. Like, it started there. That's where my Undertaker fandom started. It started then, and it never stopped. It's like, he is one of my all-time favorites. He's one of the absolute greatest. I've been a loyal fan of his since that day, especially when I saw him in the ring. Like, he was doing stuff that there weren't a lot of people doing the moves that he did in 1990. Nobody was really choke slamming. And he came off. He didn't really choke slam him, but he grabbed him and put him down, you know. And, I mean, I think he drop kicked in that match. He came off the top. He walked it. And just the clotheslines and the flying around, I mean, it was phenomenal. And you could even see like some of the guys on the other team were like, "Oh, wow,
he can do this.
We're effed," you know.
Yeah, so, I mean, he had no business doing some of the things that he did as a big man. And you know, this kind of, you know, when you say it takes you back to when you were 13, 14 years old. This takes me back to a couple episodes ago where, you know, when we were talking about The Undertaker, like we watched to me, this is like, I'm in awe that I we've watched 30 years of this guy, and it wasn't like, I know he had his other gimmicks and whatnot before then, but it wasn't like, he was a pushover gimmick at the very beginning and then he built his way up. He was a beast from the moment he was the Undertaker until now. Unbelievable. You got a kitty cat back there.
Yeah, I was about ready to clothesline him.
He tried to whip a bottle cap at him.
Don't get PETA on us, okay? You already got the churches are against us now. PETA's coming for us next.
Eric, I just want you to know, Eric, if that cat jumps on your head, I'm going to call it like a match. Oh my God, he got Pearl Harbor! Oh my God, that son of a bitch cat!
Bam him! Bam that cat!
All right, go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
No. You're good. I was done, but it's just like you're in awe from that and during the rewatch, it's like who could have ever thought that 30 years later, the streak, all this stuff that has happened since then, and then you watch the documentary, and that's it. So you were literally there from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that gimmick would work? Who thought that
Right.
gimmick would actually work and work that long? To the point where this dude, Steffi's coming in. Be nice to Lenny.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stav.
Yeah. So anyway, Ted DiBiase got the win in this one. But here's the other thing I noticed too. This match, I think, is my opinion, was Bret Hart's singles competition coming out party. Even though I know he was tag champ at the time, he was out there. First of all, he's getting cheered like crazy.
Yeah.
He was getting adulation like crazy from the announcers, and he put on one hell of a good show. I know, Grumpy Bret, but I'm not going to take away the guy's talent. And this, I think, was the moment where they were like, he could be a singles guy. He could be champ. He could be the world champ because he was all over the place. He Undertaker, he had a great time. He had a great with DiBiase. I thought this was the Hitman single run. Just my opinion. I don't know if that's a fact, but I just think it was. Personally.
I think so.
I can agree with you on that. Yeah.
Because it was right after that who beat them for the belts? Wasn't it?
It was Nasty Boys at WrestleMania 7. At 7.
Yeah, with Nasty Boys, yeah.
Hit him in the head with a bike helmet. Jimmy Hart.
And then Bret immediately went off, and I think that's when the he started a single feud right out of that.
At a WrestleMania, I forget now.
Well, 7 was the Nasty Boys when they lost the title.
Yeah. Well,
and then
know.
8 was 8 the Yokozuna?
8 was the Mountie, right? Or Piper.
Piper, wasn't it Piper?
Piper.
Oh, the IC.
Piper. Amazing.
Yeah, it was actually a really good match.
Which one was the Yokozuna? Was the Yokozuna one 9?
9. Yep.
When Hogan. Okay.
Yeah, when Hogan stole the show. Sorry, Steve. He did.
We did a whole show about that too.
Yeah.
I remember.
Poor Hulk.
The guy, Bret had rice in his eyes. He couldn't go back in.
That's true.
What do you want him to do?
No, that's true. Hogan had to save the day, and he
could have just
was
lost.
our hero.
Moved on.
I was so excited when Hogan won the title. I'm sorry.
I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now?"
What year was that? What year was that? That was 93.
Yep.
I was 12. I was a major Hulkamaniac.
I had a pink Bret Hart tank top. I was like,
oh man.
I was depressed.
There you go, Steph. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
You can post it up there, Steve. If you want, so I'm not going to.
Come on, let's get it up there. There it is.
All right, so Ted DiBiase won that one, beating actually Bret Hart. The next match, oh boy, the Vipers. Jake the Snake Roberts, a really scary looking Jimmy Snuka, and Marty Jannetty, and then the greatest of all time, Shawn Michaels, soon to be the greatest.
Marty
of all time.
Jannetty's tag team partner.
No. Again, this is the match that I thought should have been first, and this is the match that actually turned out to be like, whoa, are you kidding me? The Visionaries, Hercules, Paul Roma, right there. I would stop because the both of them I was not a fan of, especially Paul Roma. Just because you did steroids doesn't mean you get a push.
Now Roma was just can I say this? Is it slang to say Guido?
It's fine.
Okay.
Dude,
Paul was just
you slammed the church and threw a bottle cap at a cat. We were not going anywhere else after that.
Paul Roma is just a Westchester Guido on gas. Who? That's all he is, and he's bitter too. If you ever watch any of his interviews, so hey, Paul Roma.
And that crap way he wiped the sweat and tossed it on the guy. That used to annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, Shawn Michaels kicked his ass in the ring, so
Good.
Yeah,
No
then we
Shawn
got
on
Rick
that one.
Martel was the captain and the Warlord, which is just might be the worst team in the history of teams. Oh no, wait, the next match has a horrible team too. An absolutely terrifying team.
Oh, but wait, there's a worse.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to get another Shirley Temple.
Get a Shirley Temple. So Steve,
What?
you watched this on a rewatch too. What'd you think of this
Yeah.
match? Are
It
there
was-
any highlights?
It was rough. It was rough, man. I think, when you talk about misused guys, the Warlord with the stupid half mask thing, like this guy could have been just a beast. I mean, I guess he didn't have the personality for it, and he was just this big hulking guy that just never did anything. But
No.
it was definitely one of the lowlights of Survivor Series.
Like you can get more like articulation and movement out of like those LJN rubber wrestlers than you do the Warlord.
Well, that's why they had a pair. That's why Slick managed him,
Yeah.
because that was the personality.
Well, how great would it have been if they let him come out to Jive Soul Bro? That would have been awesome. They should have done that. I'm trying to culturalize you, Warlord. Give him a little culture. Give him a little pizzazz.
That would have been offensive on so many levels.
What? To have the Warlord be a Jive Soul Bro?
Exactly. So somehow it fit with the team. Somehow it just worked.
Yeah.
Offensive as it would be now, it worked for Akeem. I don't know why
It worked for Akeem. Oh no, he had rhythm though, man. He had soul. Akeem did.
Akeem did, yeah, for
He
sure.
had soul, man.
Warlord could
No,
never
A
imagine.
Warlord is a giant white guy from Minnesota with a beard on steroids.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work the same way as Akeem.
Oh, he had the personality of a pizza box. I mean, it's just he's awful.
Just very bad.
But he looked good. He looked good.
And when you talk about, I said it's one of the worst teams ever assembled. That team won.
All four of them
Completely
survived, right?
All four of them.
First in the
survived.
history.
First time in the history of Survivor Series, the Visionaries.
Didn't you
Of all
think Jake
teams.
Roberts?
Well,
would at
that's
least
because
survive
Jake. Yeah,
Jake
that was a cheap thing with him chasing in the back and the count out, and more to come, by the way, on all this count outs. That like,
It happened three times already. The Road Warriors,
Yes.
Undertaker, and now Martel and Martel didn't get counted out, though. He got illegal.
he was an illegal man.
Yeah.
And then there's more to come as we go through this. But you get to the point where, oh crap, we're running short on time. Oh, let me elbow somebody and cover him 1, 2, 3. That's later.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So that was a crazy ass match. And then I said, well, hang on, we'll get to the next one. This is where Hulk Hogan was at this time of year when Ultimate Warrior was the world champion. I don't mind this team really. I don't mind it at all. The Hulkamaniacs, Hulk Hogan, Jim Duggan, the Big Boss Man, and the Tugboat.
Tugboat, baby. And
Not like the tugboat.
Much better as Typhoon. Much better as Typhoon.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was kind of goofy.
And they
But-
took on the future natural disasters, which, again, this is not a team that... I mean, in real life, this team would probably destroy all. But as far as wrestling goes, Dino Bravo,
Oh,
Earthquake, Haku,
oh, forget it.
and the Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Oh, forget it. Forget
In
it.
real life, they're probably the scariest team ever assembled.
Do you realize that
Wrestling-wise,
on that team, you have the three toughest men that were probably in pro wrestling: Earthquake, Barbarian, and Haku.
I hear Haku is the scariest person ever.
Mm-hmm.
Haku's the scariest person I think on the planet. But Barbarian is a badass, and they said a lot of guys said you didn't F with Earthquake, man. He was tough, he was strong, he could fight, he was a sumo, and he was just like nobody messed with him, man. He was a badass.
Did you
And
guys
another
feel
one,
like-
another match with the two high impact managers, Jimmy Hart and Bobby Heenan.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, did you guys think when Earthquake came out of the crowd, you bought that, right? That's why I miss kayfabe. I bought it.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I thought
Yeah,
he was
for
some
sure.
fat guy out of the crowd that crushed Hulk Hogan's ribs, and I was like, "Oh, who is this guy?" And they just named him.
Oh yeah, I
Earthquake and
mean,
moved on.
I was upset. Hogan was in the hospital as far as I was concerned. This guy's off making a movie.
and he's the guy who came out of the crowd. Never mind that he probably went to school there for wrestling for 30 years. He just happened to come out of the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I was hooked. I was like a sunfish on a worm baited hook on a June day. I grabbed that like my last meal.
Steve, we can't see it. We lost. There you go. We're losing.
I don't know
go.
what the heck that was about. Can you hear me at least?
I hear you, but you're frozen.
All right, that's
I
fine.
think DiBiase's sabotaging us because I ran my mouth.
See the
Yeah,
Peter or
that's
the church.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They got a little poll somewhere.
So, Eric, any hot match? We all know who won this match. We all know who was going to win this match. We all know who definitely was going to be the sole survivor of this one.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it kind of ruined it.
Hulk Hogan, of course, but
Yeah, I already knew even back then, because you say to yourself because you don't even say it out loud, you say it inside your head. You're like, well, Hogan's going to be the survivor in this one, and because you first you're like, and after you say that, you think like, no, Hacksaw's going to do it with him, and then because Hacksaw pumps you up, you know what I mean? Whether he's a goofy, giant Irish guy with a 2x4 or not, he gets you going, and everybody was into that whole thing back then. Tugboat, I mean, they could have left him in the back. Sorry, Fred. I love you, but you could have. If you were Typhoon, man, that would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? And who am I missing? The boss man, the big boss man. Sorry, Camus.
better as a heel. Better as a
Sorry,
heel.
sorry, Ed Camus, but I don't buy the babyface boss man at all. He needs to be a heel. He needs to be a dick. He needs to beat the shit out of people with the nightstick and get them from behind and all that stuff. That's the big boss man.
The Yankees are on right now. There's not a chance in hell Eddie's watching this show right now.
Well, and if you by chance ever watch this when you're done watching old ladies play Parcheesi on 8th Avenue, watch this and hear what I have to say. And I don't know.
So what? One thing we forgot to mention too is that the winners of the matches move on to a big super match at the end. So
Right.
far, all you have is Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior taking on the entire Visionaries team. Ted DiBiase. I mean, it's like a ridiculous amount of people fighting. And the third member, again, out of right field. It's like, really? So we're going to move on to that next one right now. The Mercenaries. This is where Sergeant Slaughter began his one of
It's
the
anti-American.
craziest gimmicks. I don't care what anybody says.
It was so weird.
They'll never do that again. I don't think they can ever do that again.
Oh no.
I
Well,
don't think they could.
they did.
Boris
They
Zukov.
kind of.
Sato. What happened? Again?
No, they breached that subject again later on with Hassan.
Yeah, but he was
That
already
same type of thing.
Why is me not an American Marine drill instructor turning
Right. You're right.
that
Yeah.
kind of thing? That'll never happen again.
No. Mm-mm.
Never
Can't.
in a million years.
No.
So yeah, we have Boris Zukov, Sato, Sergeant Slaughter, and Tanaka. Like you said, hold my beer.
The Orient Express.
Yep, versus the Alliance, Butch, Luke, Nikolai Volkov, and Tito Santana. Tito Santana was the sole survivor of this match. Holy crap.
Who else could
Well, you
work,
got
though? Now,
you got Nikolai
how do they-
Volkov with the Russian American flags on his tights.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Mexican in Tito Santana, and you got the Bushwhackers from
New Zealanders,
I don't
yeah.
even New Zealand.
New Zealand.
You
Everybody's foreign.
got a Russian Boris Zukov and two Japanese guys.
Right.
This was
And
the United Nations-
Japan was one of our allies in that war.
Oh, the United Nations match. This is one of the greatest
Yeah.
matches.
Now,
Remember Hogan,
it was-
remember Hogan had that great promo too, challenging Saddam Hussein, saying that Hogan and
Yes.
his team will go over there and whoop some ass.
didn't Slaughter
That was
challenge
actually
the
pretty
Warrior
cool, though.
in a promo?
I believe so.
Eventually.
He went on. I guess he skipped part of his rant because I saw his tag part. I was like, I got to fast forward to this part because it was.
Is that the first
too
one where we
much.
called him the ultimate puke?
Oh my
Is that
god.
the one where he called him
Maybe.
that?
I don't
It
know.
was
I
always
think-
puke. The pukesters.
It was always
Pukemania.
He called him the ultimate puke. That was great. That was awesome.
So
But
any highlights
Tito,
from this
listen,
one?
man.
Any love
Listen,
life?
Tito was the only one that could work in that whole, out of all 8 of those people. Slaughter is the shits. He's a big guy, but he's the shits. Work-wise. If I'm talking working, not talking look and gimmick, whatever. Luke and Butch, forget it. You know what I mean? Do I even got to say anything?
They're a gimmick. They're pure gimmick.
They're a gimmick.
Big time. Oh
Pure
yeah.
gimmick. I mean, they rub each other's head and run. Come on.
Well, the battering ram.
The battery.
But,
rack.
like-
how
like-
fun was that, though? How fun was that?
It was a lot of fun, but the Bushwhackers were on a roll, and then I don't remember who came in and hit him, tossed him off the ropes, hit him with an elbow, and then covered him.
Yeah, boom,
It
boom,
was,
boom.
that's when it was like, hurry up, guys, hurry up, we're running out of time. Count 1, 2, 3.
I get to that
Sato
last
and
match,
Tanaka.
all right.
Sato and Tanaka could work. They were actually pretty good workers. But you knew Tito Santana. They had to let Tito Santana be the sole survivor, because if you let like Bushwhacker Luke or Tanaka be the, everybody's just going to be like I can see Steve right now, like watching it at like 8 years old, going,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why not
And then
have Sergeant-
this.
Why not have Sergeant Slaughter to go into the other side?
well, at least
Like
we would have
Hogan
been
and
pissed
Warrior.
off, like, oh, what,
Yeah.
you know. Or,
Yeah.
but
But
like,
and this match was the second clear spot where you spot Shane McMahon as a referee.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep,
Yep.
Like
100%.
easily his
Everything.
mannerisms and everything, you know.
yeah. Yeah, the
Already-
mullet.
He was already doing
Yep.
the dance.
Yes. Yes.
So Tito Santana wins that one. We move on to the big survival of all survivors 5-on-3 handicap match. Hulk Hogan, the Warrior, and Tito Santana versus here we go. The Hercules, Paul Roma, Rick Martel, Ted DiBiase, the Warlord with Slick and Virgil. Now, don't get me wrong. If you know Star Trek analogy, which I hope you do, Tito Santana is wearing the red shirt. You know what that means?
No,
Either one of you Star Trek guys?
I don't
All
like
right.
Star Trek.
Raul, you're a Star Trek guy. You'll know what I'm talking about. Whenever you watch Star Trek, Captain Kirk had the yellow shirt, Spock had the blue shirt, and whenever they beamed down to a planet, there'd be some random dude with a red shirt on. You know that guy was going to die. Because you're not killing Spock, you're not killing Kirk, but the guy in the red shirt is not coming back to the Enterprise. And that's just a long-running Star Trek joke. So guess what?
But he eliminated the Warlord. But he eliminated Warlord in like 5 seconds. It was so
Yeah.
weird.
It was.
It was awesome. The crowd. Did you hear the crowd pop when that
Yeah.
happened? Like
Yes.
that was
Great.
like boom.
So I don't know. Give us the high. Again, there's another one of those matches where Hogan and Warrior are going to come out on top. Again, I can start poking. I can start poking Eric right now. I'll start poking him right now. Was this Hogan's doing? Could he not let Warrior have that shining moment to be the sole survivor? You think, or was this a Vince thing?
No, this was, and this is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion based upon secondhand account from people in the back. But my opinion is that even though Hogan got to go on last, right, or second to last, he got to
Yeah.
go on after Warrior.
Warrior's
Warrior
first.
The Warriors first.
Warrior's
Yeah.
first.
He still got to go on after him. So he won that one. He got to do his promo. So he won that. And he survived in his match. Sole survivor. He won that. But he's probably butthurt that the Warrior did, even though he was champion. Because Hogan's biting right now. He's like, "Ugh." But he knew Vince was going to put the belt back on him, because by this time, I think I agree, Raul, 100%. I agree. By this time, I think it was clear that the Warrior, as good as a reaction he was getting back then and still now, it was putting asses in seats. And I just don't think that – I think that, like, Kerry – because Kerry always got a pop wherever he went. Kerry, if he was on the card, you could guarantee, like, you're going to have a good turnout, or Brett, or I think guys like Kerry, Brett, Road Warriors, even Dusty Rhodes. I mean, look at the pop he got, man. I mean, Dusty got a big pop. I mean, there's no, you can't. I know you don't like Dust. Come on, he's the
Dusty
American
usually got a big
Dream,
pop.
Tim. He's
When
the
that American Dream came, it was a pop.
I don't like WWF Dusty Rhodes.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I don't like. But he was way too big. He should have been wearing a shirt. And when they is wearing a shirt, it has freaking polka dots on it. So I don't like WWF. I like, the WCW or NWA Dusty Rhodes. I don't like WWF Dusty. Plus, he's feuding with the Macho King. I can't have that.
I love it. I love WWF Dusty Rhodes. I loved it.
Well,
One of my favorites.
speaking about the Macho King, this was for me. Looking back on it now, this was the obvious route to take for WWE at that time. Was Macho Man came out a little bit before that match, and he wasn't part of the Survivor Series, but he talked about how Sherry came out and slapped the shit out of the Warrior. That was going to be the next big feud. And then to get Slaughter even more hated, you put the belt on the guy who has turncoat and is an Iraqi guy, and then who is going to beat that guy but the All-American Hulk Hogan? I felt that setup was just, there was no other way to do that. My opinion, obviously.
No, and like I said, Hogan. I think probably the booking team, like probably Pat Patterson and Vince, were like, well, Hogan's got an asshole, and probably, I don't even think Hulk had to do much because I think he got his jabs in where he could. But I think it was Vince and I think it was Patterson and all those guys that were thinking like, well, we're gonna have to head here now instead of here. I mean, Warrior's great. He's just not Hogan, and he wasn't. And he was getting over, but he wasn't getting over like they thought. He was more over, I think, when he was Intercontinental Champion than he was when he was the World Champion. 100%. So, no, I don't
already had their plan in mind to put the belt on Slaughter.
I think
take it back.
I think when Savage came out and did that, because he basically challenged the Warrior, in that promo. He basically just open challenge. Warrior, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
And I do a pretty good Savage. Don't I?
You do.
The freak out.
That's right.
Was
very well done.
He didn't have his crown yet. I was very upset he didn't have his crown on or his scepter.
No,
And he had a duck. He had a duck underneath the. They carried him out. But that's what. And then leading up to the Rumble, Savage hitting the Warrior with the scepter, Slaughter with the easy pin. I just felt it was a natural storyline for all four guys to go that. And then the career-ending match. That's
Mania. When they thought ahead. Not like
right.
today, where it's like week to week or every 2 weeks coming up with something. That's the big difference between wrestling now and then.
Yeah,
they had that shit planned.
Yeah, and because they needed to know what kind of business they were doing down the road, because they had to book. You had to book buildings ahead, sometimes 6 months ahead. Like, I want to be at the Garden here, and here. I need to be in Louisville here and here. I need to be in Binghamton here. I want to be in Nassau here and here. So, who gets over where? And you got to build it up to that. But like I said, I don't think Hogan needed to push anything by then, because like Steve was saying, and like you brought up, Tim, the wheels were when Savage came out during that Survivor Series. I pretty much had in the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, he's gonna Warrior and because really what I was gonna say was when you found out afterwards, as the weeks went by, and you found out Slaughter was going to fight the Warrior at the Royal Rumble, I thought to myself, oh crap, well, there goes that. It was a good run.
That's it.
It's over. Because I thought for sure Savage and he were going to fight. I really did. And I thought Savage was going to win the title if they did. I had a fantasy going in my head that wow, Savage is going to beat the Warrior for the title, in my mind. But when
Savage can't without Hogan's help.
See, look at that. You jam?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That jam? That's not nice.
Well,
I
if you
get,
take
I get.
If you take a jab, Steve, I'll throw a cross. At least I got the satisfaction of seeing the Warrior retire Macho Man Randy Savage. So
Retire.
Retire.
Guy had 20 more years.
he wasn't around that much longer,
Well, WCW.
Yeah. He was
I mean,
an
the
announcer
Warrior.
and then
Warrior.
Warrior? Oh.
What do you mean?
No.
Yeah.
In and out.
So, yeah, so I think the wheels are in motion also. I think they knew right away. Like I said, I think they planned that crap way months in advance. And I would love to be at that meeting where they finally woke up and said, no, Warrior's not doing it for us. He's not. I mean, did they just check merchandise numbers and we go, whoa, he's no Hogan or personality-wise? Like, you know what it is, too? You could put Hogan on TV and Hogan will win that crowd over. The Ultimate Warrior, like if you watch him on Arsenio Hall or on Kathy Lee, and he's screaming about the gods and the thunder, and it's like, dude, you're an idiot. You come off as such a moron, and those are the kind of things that like people who like don't like wrestling like, oh, look at this bull, like, look at this crap, look at this long hair and paint. This is so stupid. But I think that's one of the reasons why too. You couldn't put him on Arsenio and make him look good.
Yeah, no, even Arsenio couldn't get him over.
Yeah, even Hogan and Savage come out on Arsenio, and it's a huge thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah,
Warrior.
Arsenio had to rapport with them all. Like Arsenio would have like rapport with Macho Man. He was rapport with Hogan. Even Rick Rude. He had a good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Sherry was great.
Warrior comes out. He's flipping couches over. Arsenio's like,
That's what I'm saying. How do you build rapport with somebody that is just
a fucking maniac? Yeah, I mean, he's out of. What did he do? Like drink like 7 Pepsis before he came out there, and then he's like shaking. And
speaking of which, I forgot to post this picture. I hope you guys can see it. You see who that is?
Hogan and Sherry?
And Hogan?
That is Hogan and Sherry, and she is so drunk and so trying to get with him. And he just has that big Hulk Hogan smile.
Yeah, he does.
Is that WCW?
I don't know. I'll post it, though, on our page and everything. And you look over here, hey, it's Mike Rotunda, and I believe that's Marty Jannetty.
Oh, so that's WWE.
It's either Marty Jannetty or a young Scott Steiner, but I don't know.
Or Steiner.
It looks like Scott Steiner.
It looks more like Steiner.
Huh. But I saw this picture and I was like, look at drunk Sherry going for him. I bet she was a lot of fun.
She had to.
She was
for sure.
She had to have been.
For sure.
Those, I hope they do a Dark Side of the Ring Sherry, because I am dying to hear stories about her. Because I bet she was. I bet she was a barrel of laughs, that one. Oh, I can't even think about it. I can't wait for season 3 to come out. I can't wait to see who they're going to do next.
When's that?
Probably next year.
I think beginning of the year, right? Or middle, or like February-ish? March?
I think February or something like that.
Yeah.
That's when the last one came out, right? Yeah. So,
February.
Well, guys, any parting words about Survivor Series 1994? Like I said, I noticed that when I was watching today about the Bret Hart, and I'll never get the whole Kerry Von Erich thing out of my head now, unfortunately. But, yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent pay-per-view, despite some of those teams are kind of crazy.
The Heat. The Gobbledygooker got tons of heat. Everybody was pissed off at that because, I mean, you figure all this build up. The egg is on every week on WWF Superstars. What the hell is it going to be in this freaking turkey?
But you know what
dancing with Mean Gene in the ring.
But when you break it down now, what could have been in that egg? It had to be something that stupid. Are you going to have a wrestler, a legit wrestler, come out of an egg and then expect him to walk to the ring and get like, cheered or booed?
Well,
like, no way.
My thought was that it was going to be like maybe it could have been like they would have brought the egg towards the ring or something like that, or whatnot, and it was Savage. Maybe he was going to come out and screw the Warrior, to continue that. And I'm like, what the hell is this thing? Dancing around the ring with Mean Gene, the Gooker.
The Gooker's still,
but clearly. But it was clearly built in as filler for the guys to take a break in the back to come back out to, have that final match. But yeah, it was a build up for like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Months watching that on Saturday morning.
Yeah. I honestly was baffled. I didn't know. I never would have guessed what was going to come out of there, And like when that came out of there, I'm like, Okay.
But listen,
What is this shit? Like,
you can't deny the Gooker does have legendary status now.
oh, he's 100% legend.
Yeah.
100%.
He is now your Jar Jar Binks type character who everyone absolutely hated. Now you're like, oh, all right, that's kind of
But
fun.
I guarantee
now when
you-
he pops up, you're like, oh, look, it's the Gooker. You know,
Yeah,
I'd say,
like-
hey, Gooker. If the Gooker was doing a signing at that wrestling store, I'd go. I ain't
I
gonna
would
lie.
go.
Yeah.
I'd go.
I'd be there 100%. I'd
Take
take
a
a
picture
picture
of him.
with the son of a bitch.
Definitely, absolutely. So he's reached legendary status. Just saying. It
Yeah.
took
Be out
30,
there
40
dancing
years.
a Cotton Eye Joe.
It took 30, 40 years, but hey, it worked. All right, guys, you know what? We're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to save the Clash of Champions with Dave and them because they know more about all that new crap than that. So we'll save it for them. Plus, we're at an hour and 20, and Yankees are on, and all kinds of stuff's going on. Steve, are you guys doing? I'm not bringing it up to make it a bad subject.
I know.
Are you doing a final put it in the book show for the season?
We're gonna skip this week because Keith is down in the Keys. And next week we're gonna do a season recap, if you will.
Oh, the Keys.
Yeah, he's down in the Keys. Where he's going, they do a pretty good job out there.
Key Largo.
Yeah, I see
Exactly.
what you're doing
That's the
there.
first thing you hear.
Yeah.
So you go,
So we'll do a season recap and talk about why this was an easier pill to swallow based on what's going to be happening in the offseason for the Mets. So yeah, but we'll definitely talk about the Giants this week.
Cool.
That's what Thursday or tomorrow we're doing that.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. So
Hey,
No, it's Thursday.
No, it's Thursday. Yeah, we're gonna. So
It's Thursday.
Thursday, you can watch three guys scream their heads off for 20 minutes and then just make their picks because we got nothing else to talk about with this team.
I have a question. Here we go again with the Eric the Hitman Hart saga here. Why don't how come I never got on the put it in the crushed you out show or whatever?
Well,
it is?
Do you watch the show, Eric?
I wasn't on the world the Freedom 161.
Jeez.
Or the Mr. Hanky and Jake, whatever his name is, Kyle. I didn't get invited to
exactly
that.
why you aren't on. We stomped you out because you're an Eagle fan. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
that
exactly
can't
why
happen.
you're not an Empire 161 because you're a Red Sox fan.
I'm taking it back right now.
Why you're not on Kyle and Jader? I don't know. I try to get on Kyle and Jader all the time, and I can't get on. So.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I was just trying to mock him. But I have been invited more than once to be on the Four Quarters show, gentlemen. Thank you.
Nah?
Yeah. Dude, seriously. You want to come on? Send me the link. I'll send you the link. You can come on any show you want.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You're always
tomorrow
welcome.
I'll be matriculating to New England, so I won't be able to.
You just
partake
pulled a
in any-
Bobby. You just pulled a Bobby Heenan. No, I never get invited anywhere. Oh, I'm busy that night. What was that? It was Regis.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to go. All right, come on the show Thursday. Oh, no, I'm not going to be here. I'll be busy.
I can't do it. But tomorrow night at some point, probably 7-ish, Dave and I are going to go on and do a NBA Finals preview. The Lakers and the Heat.
I
LeBron
don't
playing
know
his
about
old team.
basketball, but all I can do is say ABL. Anybody but the Lakers. And ABL.
See,
Anybody but LeBron. There you go. It works twice.
I thought the Celtics were going to have it, but
Nah, they're not ready. They're not ready.
no,
yet.
they're not. They're not.
They're missing one or two-
They couldn't pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah, they're missing one or two pieces.
And the Heat they were just playing out of their minds.
Yeah. Bubble
They
ball.
were on, man. They were
They're good in
on.
that bubble ball. The bubble ball is
No,
good.
the Celtics could have had both of the first two games, but
They really could've.
they jacked up a 7-point lead. You know,
I watched that first one.
it was rough. Even this the last game, the Celtics came back and they were up by 6, and then the Heat hit 3 straight threes, and they're all automatically down by 3. But we'll talk
that's
about
the-
that tomorrow.
That's the only highlight that I watched, and I saw that, and I'm like, "Oh, this is the one I had to see." Great, I know this is over.
So, Eric, right, you can come on any show you want. Just say, send me the link. We'll put you on. But
I appreciate it, guys.
You're going to come on the Giants show. You're just going to hear 3-4 guys screaming. Yankee show, well, we'll see what happens with that. We're going to keep our mouth shut till Thursday.
You know that I'm one of the biggest Mattingly fans there is. You know that.
That doesn't give you weight as
That
far as
doesn't-
you're like on the Red Sox.
It doesn't.
I learned how to throw a fastball from Ron Guidry.
That's like, hey, I like Nazi Germany, but that Franklin Roosevelt's a pretty good guy. It's like, what? What you talking about?
Am I getting anywhere with anything that I'm saying? No. Okay.
All right. So,
pretty soon, Eric, you'll hint, you'll have potentially some more shows to choose from.
Well, then I think I'll do my dishes tonight, and I'll go out and say hello to the neighbors. Thank you for that.
Exactly. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. Like you said, tomorrow the four-quarter show they're going to be doing. Is it a four-quarter show? NBA preview, or just NBA preview?
Just an NBA preview.
NBA preview. Me and Ed are going to do Empire 161 Thursday, depending on Thursday if the Yankees do 2 games in a row. Then we're going to do it Thursday. They have to go to a game. 4, whatever, however it works, best of 3. If he has to go full, then we don't know what we're going to do because I think I'm heading upstate as well this weekend. So we'll figure that out. The Giant show will be Thursday. Come watch us yell. Jada and Kyle are tomorrow at 6 doing Goodfellas. And I won't get on the show either. I try so hard, but they ignore me. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing. So, all right, everybody. Any parting words, gentlemen?
No. Just thank you for everybody. Steve, where are you? Thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
And I have a joke for Ed. You can give to Ed on at some point on the show on Thursday, Tim. Okay, ready?
Go ahead.
Knock knock.
Oh God, who's there?
The big boss man.
What's the big boss man? Who?
The big boss man sucks.
Okay.
Oh.
As a heel or altogether? I mean,
as a heel. Oh, as a heel. I'm sorry. Or as a face. As a face.
No, as a face. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Share the show out. Tell your friends. Invite your friends. All our shows are fantastic. I watch them all. I really do.
Every single show. I do.
I have life. I watch every single show as possible. They're a lot of fun.
All the time.
And, you may not like us, but learn to love us. We're the best thing going today, people. Sweet. And broadcast.